beautiful soul. In this video, we explore what I call the sacred pause in your Hapé practice. This is a way to deepen your practice and receive better guidance and insights. The sacred pause is the moment between the administration of the first nostril to the second. This moment is where the majority of your downloads, your guidance, and your insights are coming from. And it's the moment that most of you are missing if you haven't been taught how to sit with Hapé in a more present and in-depth way. If you've been learning how to sit with Hapé from watching Instagram videos, you've likely been learning the way that doesn't honor the sacred pause, but instead rushes you from administering the first side to the second side by splitting the dose on your hand in two and serving yourself back to back. If you've been sitting with Hapé in this way, I invite you to learn a different way, a deeper way. We will walk the path of the sacred pause, slowing down, breathing deep, and taking a moment in allowing the medicine to come through with immense guidance and for us to be present to the teachings that come through the space. The problem with pouring your dose and splitting it into two and administering one side to the next is that it's rushed. While many of the indigenous tribes will practice in this way, the difference is that us in the Western world are already inclined to rush and have a difficult time being present in the moment. I've come to find that the most common way to sit with Hapé doesn't work well with us Westerners, and a way for us to connect more deeply and practice the art of the present moment is to honor the sacred pause. The way that most people are taught to sit with Hapé looks like this. You pour both doses in your hand, you scoop half the dose and load the kuripe, you blow one nostril, and almost immediately you scoop the second half of the dose and administer the second side. It's quick, almost rhythmic, and this is how it's often practiced and passed down, even by the tribes themselves. This works for them, but it doesn't work with us due to the environment that we have grown up with, the anxiety that we sit with, and the rushed world that we are constantly surrounded by. We are already conditioned to rush, to move fast, to push through, and that rhythm can unintentionally keep us from dropping all the way in. What I've come to feel deeply in my own practice and through the teaching of hundreds of people over the years is that rushing through Hapé, even unintentionally, can really dull the medicine's teachings and leave you without the depth of guidance and insights that you could potentially receive if you implement a pause. Hapé's deepest teachings is presence, stillness, and listening. So instead of rushing from administering one nostril to the next, I began to honor the pause. And I began to teach the pause, which became one of the biggest parts of helping others really and truly feel the depth of Hapé. I've had people in my Hapé circles that have been working with this medicine for years and managed to deepen their practice by simply implementing the pause and changing how they administer Hapé to themselves. Here's the thing. Some of the biggest insights come straight after administering the first side. If we're too preoccupied with scooping the second dose, we miss out on these insights. Hapé is a teacher of being present, and it's really hard to be present when we have Hapé turning into mud on our sweaty palms and when we're thinking about a future event, which is administering the second side and taking part in the actual loading of the kuripe. These are all distractions, and we've lost the present moment. We've lost the connection. We're too busy doing. During this time, we also don't have free use of our hands that we could be using to move the energy from our heads, to put our hands on our hearts, or to hold our buckets for dear life. There is no freedom in movement to get down on the ground, to massage our temples, or to release the energy that needs releasing if you have Hapé sitting on the palm of your hand waiting to be scooped up. You just don't get the opportunity to drop all the way in. It can be very disorientating to administer the first side and with the medicine moving through us, and then try to focus our attention onto the second dose that's waiting on the palm of our hand. I find this distracting, and I also find it very difficult because my vision is a little blurry. I have a rush of energy moving through my body, guidance floating around, and now instead of focusing on what's coming through, I need to now focus on scooping this hapé to administer the second side. Sometimes sitting with hapé results us in building a bit of a sweat. And if we're sitting with our second dose on our hand, that hapé is now starting to turn into a muddy consistency, which is not ideal. The sacred pause is different. The sacred pause gives you a space and freedom between administering the first side and administering the second side. So here is what the pause looks like in practice and how you can integrate it into your hapé practice. So I'll pour only one dose on the palm of my hand. I'll scoop that dose into my kuripe, set my intentions, say my prayers, and then I'll administer it into the first nostril, just as usual. The difference here is that I'm only pouring enough for one dose and not both. Once I administer the first side, I pause. I close my eyes, I breathe, and I allow the medicine to move through me before doing anything else. I listen and I feel. And as you sit there, the medicine will start to bring the biggest insights, guidance, and ideas through. This is the most powerful moment of the entire ceremony. And now that you're not distracted, you'll actually be able to receive that guidance and begin the dialogue. I wait until I feel called to move on and not a second before. During this time, an immense rush of guidance is coming through, and I'm able to feel connected and just lean into what's coming through for me in that moment. And only when I feel complete do I then pour the second dose in my hand and begin to load my kuripe for the second side. I will still go through the intention setting and the prayers, and then I'll administer the second side. I have the ability to put my one hand over my heart and the other over my stomach in order to ground in my body. My hands are free. There is nothing to think about, and all that's expected of me is to simply feel and listen. I often sit with the first side for approximately 4 minutes. How do I know this? Usually a full song plays until I'm ready for the other side. This space between the first and the second side is what's going to deepen your practice, because now you won't be so distracted to administer the other side. You can actually sit with the presence of spirit. You can sit as long as you want until you feel the potency starting to come. That's when you know that you're ready to pour your second dose. Since practicing in this way and since teaching so many people the sacred pause, I felt a deeper presence with the medicine and noticed the depth as to which my students were experiencing the medicine too. I've had people sit with me who had been sitting with Hapé for years, and changing just this one thing made their experience so much more full, so much more intensely beautiful and revealing. The visions are clearer, the guidance is stronger and clearer, and they feel more connected to their spirit guides and more anchored into their bodies. It's not always easy to slow down, but the moment you do, the medicine meets you in that stillness, every time. And when you slow down and you give yourself a moment, you'll find that the guidance will come through in a much stronger way. I get much more out of sitting with Hapé with the sacred pause, and so have the people that I've taught. It's like a light bulb has gone off when they realize that sitting with it too quickly was resulting in them losing out on most of the messages, missing out on the big aha moments, and the stillness of the most powerful blow. The other problem with rushing both sides is that when we administer the second side, the Hapé from the first side can be pushed out by the air blown in, and we lose the medicine, leaving us with a milder experience. So you want to make sure you take full advantage of the medicine administered on the first side before it's potentially pushed out. So if you've been practicing Hapé in the traditional rhythm, going from the one side to the second side and pouring both doses in your hand, I invite you to try this. Not as the right way, but as another way, a deeper way. So try honoring the sacred pause. Try letting presence be the point of your practice and allow yourself that moment for the guidance to come through and see what meets you there. Because sometimes the space between is where spirit speaks the loudest. Take time between administering both sides. Pour only one dose in your hand at a time and allow yourself to just sit and listen until you feel called to administer the second side. There is no rush. There's absolutely no reason to administer both sides back to back. During this time, you will find the right songs come on with the right words that you were meant to hear. You'll hear the guidance and you'll feel that clarity comes in a lot stronger. Honor your next Hapé session with the sacred pause and let me know if this helped deepen your experience with Hapé. And if it opens something beautiful, let me know. I'd love to hear what the medicine reveals to you and how this small change changes your sessions. Let me know if implementing the space has deepened your experience and if you had more guidance come through, more clarity, or if anything shifted for you. If you'd like to see more teachings like this, you can subscribe to my channel or simply return whenever you feel called. If you'd like to learn how to sit with Hapé in a deeper way and understand this medicine more deeply, I invite you to sign up to my Hapé course that will walk you through every aspect of your ceremony, learning the different blowing techniques, how to properly use the kuripe, and to understand different blends, the nuances, and the history of Hapé. This course is perfect for beginners and those who already have a practice but would like to deepen the practice. I'll leave the link to the course below, and until next time, my friends, aho.